Getting in is probably the best thing you can do, not being afraid to scale, but also you need to be with a team that has the experience. You got to do partnerships early and you got to produce where you got to also deliver your talents within that or whatever resources you have available to make it work. But partnering up early, getting in early and sticking it out. Part of that too is education.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Pro Show. I'm your host, Erika, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Emil Brown, who's been carving out a strong path in the real estate investing space. Emil, it's so great to have you on the show today.
It's lovely to be here. Thanks, Erika.
Emil, for those who aren't familiar with your journey, give us the rundown. How did you get started in investing?
Well, many years ago, I did a condo on the beach back in Antigua, and I didn't realize that, but that would come around to be the one industry that I like the most in that it focuses itself on cash flows, and it's something you could scale with the right team.
Yeah. Along the journey, were there any deals that you were doing that it made you know that this was the path that you wanted to take?
Of late, yes. It took a minute to get there. I tried different things. Obviously, I lived in different countries too. And so there wasn't necessarily like a home base that I could say, let's set up shop. The thing about it is I'm very financially astute with models. And that's my background has been in financial models and accounting and finance. And I understand the cash flow. And when you see the leverage that's available for that, that just kind of hit home for me. And I thought, well, yeah, that's something I'd love to do.
Yeah. With your financial background, what would you say is like the biggest misconception that people have about investing when they're new to the game?
Well, that's a good one. For me, is just understand leverage is one that is totally misunderstood. And I, for one, actually misunderstood that. But also the cash flow, not having the cash sitting in an account or investing, in the wrong type of assets, meaning short term, using short term money to buy long term assets or vice versa. You could get yourself kind of an upside down situation. Understanding the importance of having that money move through on a consistent and predictable way is kind of misunderstood a lot.
Emil, have you done any creative financing to make certain deals happen?
Well, if you're referring to maybe using some credit cards, yes, I've done a few of those, but not too extensive at this point. I am looking to get into that, but as you know, that could be a little bit challenging to do if you don't fully understand the complexity of those creative financing that are there. If you're talking about maybe have a seller finance a purchase, that's a little different. But when you're getting into the mezzanine and different waterfalls, it becomes a little bit more challenging. And no, I haven't ventured into a lot of that yet. But that is the goal, to get to that.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors, working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Got it. And as I'm sure you're familiar with, Emil, every investor has a moment where a deal goes sideways or you have to pivot fast. Did you have one of those moments in your journey? Can you share one of those?
Well, yeah, I kind of, yes, I've had a few of those. Well, one in particular, it was very early out, and the price that we were certain we were going to get for the particular investment ended up being that, and you just had to cut your losses and move on. It was just the time horizon ended up outlasting the capital that I had set aside. And I think you call that the alligator, just, feeding the alligator, eventually the alligator ate the investment.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
Looking back, is there anything you do differently in that situation now that you've got more experience?
So what I'm doing differently now is getting a multiple sources of finance readily available, because you just never know. There just could be some miscalculations, or the time horizon could end up being a little bit less than a little bit more than anticipated. So have many sources of finance available is really what I kind of set my eyes on.
Yeah, yeah. For our listeners who are early in their real estate and investing journey, what's one thing that you wish you'd known when you were just starting out?
Getting in is probably the best thing you can do. Not being afraid to scale, but also you need to be with a team that has the experience. You got to do partnerships early, and you got to produce where you got to also deliver your talents within that, or whatever resources you have available to make it work. But partnering up early, getting in early, and sticking it out. Part of that too is education, getting as much education and getting as much understanding about the product, or about how finances work and how the other financial institutions also work, is very important.
Emil, when it comes to partnering up with someone, how do you determine if someone's a good fit?
That's a great question. I determine a great fit with a partner by truly understanding their investment philosophy. Oftentimes, when you're doing this, it is almost like a marriage. It's a long-term commitment, and there're going to be communication breakdown. But if you truly understand the principles on which they're functioning and how they view each aspect of the investment, it kind of helps gauge if they're in line with your investment philosophy versus something else. If it's a partnership, everybody's in. If anything changes, everybody has to be changed unanimously to push forward with any decisions. And that's something you'd kind of have to make sure is out there. And the ultimate focus has to be in line. Their focus have to be in line with yours, and what levers you pull and the order in which you pull them. You gotta have to make sure those are actually aligned.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Along the similar lines of a partnership, Emil, has there been any connection that you made in the industry or any networking group that was a real game changer for you?
Well, I've had a couple of lectures slash conferences that I've attended, but I'm with the Big Deal Mastermind, and they've kind of been very instrumental in getting me to the next phase. I was able to learn a little bit quicker with them. They spent a lot of time walking me through the fundamentals, supporting my ideas, testing my analyses or my underwriting ability, and refining that. But they also give me an opportunity to be a part of the general partnership by bringing people in or contributing my own capital. So I felt like we were true partners in that, and I was really pressing on their ability um, to acquire properties, raise capital, manage these properties, and ultimately do I guess, an exit, getting a great exit for everybody involved.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, that's awesome. Emil, when it comes to networking, what kind of advice would you give to someone who is either new or, let's say they're not a people person and they're not really wanting the network. How do you break that?
Well, the easiest way to break into the networking field, and there are a few sales book that I've gone through, is either to go to conferences and make the first step, have a easy conversation, exchange your contact information, reach out to these guys, reach out to these individuals. One good way to think of things also is try to find common interest with people. It's easier to talk to something that you are passionate about and they are actually aligned with also. The other thing I've been doing is just following people that are doing what you want to do. So you could pick up how they do their business, whether it's on LinkedIn or Facebook, because ultimately you could learn a lot by reading what they read, seeing the type of groups they associate themselves with, and hearing how they talk about what they do. Eventually, if you follow enough of them, you'll start understanding the language. Of course, with the education that helps too, and then you'll be able to talk more comfortable with anybody you meet. It is, somebody said, I don't remember, so don't quote me on this one. Everybody's in the people business. And we're all people. We have friends, childhood friends coming up all the way up through to anything you do. So doctors are in the people business because they're talking to doctors. But so are carpenters. They're in the people business by way of carpentry. You're in the housing business, but it's the people business. Everything revolves around people. The way you communicate with them and finding the common interest ultimately will help you significantly more than you think. And they are interested in what you have to say. So worst case scenario, rehearse a few things that you're very confident about and make sure you're able to show that in light of how they view their interests, especially within the real estate world.
Yeah, that's awesome advice. Emil, let's talk a little bit more about you. What do you see next on the horizon? What are you looking to do in your future? What goals do you have in mind?
So I don't know if you're the Maslow's um, hierarchy of needs. Housing is really the bottom. So you need security, you need housing and shelter. So in my mind, that is providing a service that is essential just to for a base, a place where you could rest, relax, and put out your best work once you're grounded. Um, yes, some look at it as in a housing, but my next step is to make as big of an impact on the people's lives that I serve by providing quality housing in a safe, friendly neighborhood or environment that actually helps them, perform at their highest level. Hopefully, this is a stepping stone to their next, big move. But also, some people are very comfortable. They don't want to worry about having to do the maintenance. They want to be surrounded by enough people which are like-minded. And for me is to build as bigger portfolio as I possibly can to impact as many lives as possible in the form of housing. And raising capital to do that, that's really what I'm going to be doing most of, because that's kind of the fuel that makes everything works.
Yeah, that's awesome. How do you plan to structure your funding for those goals?
So that is the theory I'm working. That is the reason. That's where I'm at right now, trying to structure those. Right now, I think the initial thing is to do a deal by deal syndication approach. Eventually, I'll move it into a real fund where we'll focus primarily on real estate. And I do have a lot of experience within the small business world and understanding how credit works. And so maybe 20, 30 years down the road, expand that offering to maybe helping a little bit more of some more small businesses. Those that are close to me, I'll definitely be able to help them, but just like a friendly type basis. But the next phase is to really get a lot of investors, interested in what I'm doing, and hopefully give them the type of return they want in the vehicle, as I would refer to it, of real estate.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
That's exciting. And I can tell that you're thinking strategically about how you're going to grow. Are there any tools or systems that you're leaning on to keep everything organized as you scale?
So right now, just the general outlook, keeping people there. I am looking at getting into some other platforms for CRM and communications. We're going to be building a website out. Funny you should say that. I'm actually in the process of writing a book and actually honing my message. I didn't quite say that. And so hopefully this is going to be published here. And so topic of the book is, burned boats. It kind of delineates my experience of leaving my home country at a very young age and coming to the US, and really trying to understand what the people doing vacation in my home country were all about, the freedom they experienced there. And so that's kind of where I'm at.
Really cool and very exciting, Emil. Before we wrap up, if someone wants to connect with you, maybe do a collaboration, learn more about your approach, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Just my LinkedIn profile. It's Emil Brown, and you'll see me out there. I guess you could send me an email. And emil.brown5@gmail.com. I'd love to chat with you. We're going to be doing some great things. My team now is looking at doing a lot of housing here in Cincinnati, and we're going to just keep extending that for sure.
Great. Emil, thank you so much for dropping all this knowledge today. It's awesome having you on the show.
Thank you very much, Erika.
For everyone tuning in, if you got value from this episode, make sure that you're subscribed to the Real Estate Pro Show. We've got more conversations with operators like Emil who are building their real estate empires the smart way. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.